Hey guys, how you doing? All right, so today is day 8, and yes, we are coming down to the end of our challenge. So today's challenge has to do with the Yoni Steam, which is basically what's called a steam bath, and it's a vaginal steam bath. This is all about fem care. So this is something that has been around for thousands of years. In ancient times, they have used this to help with it benefits the reproductive system um, before menopause, perimenopause, and after menopause. So even in your productive years, where you're in childbearing years, this is something that has been beneficial for women. So today we're going to go ahead and make put everything together for the steam, and then I'll explain how you would do the steam at home. All right, so one thing you will need is a bowl, that can hold hot water or very warm water. Or you can use a mini crock pot, which I have. I just go to like a Goodwill or some thrift store or something, and a lot of times I will go to the section where they have kitchen stuff, and you can find a crock pot sometimes $3, $4, $5, maybe no more than $10. So I have gone several times, and I've picked up a couple of these, the little mini ones. And this is just something that I like to have because, I make all kind of stuff, and I know that I use it for steam. So it's not for the kitchen, but it's for, other use. All right. So there are a simple recipe that I'm going to give you is, one is going to be lavender. And so what you do is you just take about a teaspoon or 2 of each. The lavender, we're using this because lavender is cooling and it promotes healthy menstrual cycles. It helps with the menstrual flow. It's antibacterial, and it supports the vaginal cavity, and it lubricates. So it helps with all of that. The other thing I'm using today is called calendula, and that helps with healing the skin, and it promotes cellular repair. And it also nourishes the vaginal tissue. So for overall general health of the vagina, this is just a simple recipe that you can use. So as you can see, I'm just taking a healthy tablespoon of each. These are going to smell wonderful when you put them together. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to add in is rose petals. Rose is very beneficial for the skin, overall skin. And so it will help, keep the skin, nice and smooth. And it's also really aromatic, so it's really good for aromatherapy, even though you're not using it for that reason, but it will boost your mood. Anything that smells, good, you want to use that. So that's the 3 items that I would use for this. Now, there are other herbs, yarrow, marshmallow, all kinds of mugwort. These are all kind of different herbs that someone could use for fem care, and using that for Yoni Steam. But this is something nice and simple, something that you probably could have in your cabinet. People drink or have lavender. You can get lavender easily, or calendula. There's the calendula tea. You can use the tea bag. It's just the dried flowers or the leaves, and you can use that as well. So it's a self-care. It's a female self-care practice from ancient times, and what you do is you allow the herbs to steep in the in your bowl, and then you would squat over the bowl, or you can have some kind of stool where it has a hole in it, or somehow you're perching yourself over the bowl, and that allowing that steam to permeate the womb and the tissues of the vaginal area is very beneficial. So it helps to rejuvenate. This is a practice that came from India, Greece, Europe, Africa. These are ancient practices that they use to help the womb heal, perform right, function correctly during the reproductive times, perimenopause, menopause, and then postmenopause. So it restores regularity of the menstrual cycle. You get relief from PMS, cramps, bloating, pain, fatigue. It reduces pain associated with intercourse. It relieves itchiness. It helps uterine fibroids and cysts. It helps with endometriosis, promotes fertility. It tones, heals the vaginal tissue, postpartum healing, supports the transition of menopause into menopause. It minimizes hot flashes, balances the hormones, it moisturizes and lubricates the vaginal tissue, it tightens the vagina, and it helps clear yeast infections, it helps healing from trauma. So it's a lot of benefits to this, and there are several different recipes. Some recipes, help with specific things. As I went down the list, there are different recipes that help with different issues. But this one is just the overall general health of the skin in that area, and just to help it, soften, smooth out the skin, and lubricate. So, and by no means am I mentioning anything about cleansing, because we do know that people wash as you're supposed to, and the vagina is a whole system of itself, and it cleanses itself. So if you don't know that, you can do your own research, but this doesn't have to do with any kind of cleansing as far as cleaning out the vagina, but it does help with the function of it, and the different things that I mentioned, so that way, it will just help with our fem care. It just really helps to benefit us in that way. All right, so hopefully you guys will try it. When you do perch yourself over the bowl, or you kneel and you perch over the bowl, you're going to do that for about 20 minutes. You do not want the steam to be boiling hot. So if you heated up a tea kettle and then you pour it in, you do not want the steam to be boiling hot. You want it to be warm, so that way you can feel the steam, but you don't want it, when this kettle starts to whistle, not that kind of steam. No, you don't want that. You want it warm enough so you can feel like you might be sweating when you sit over it, but you're not burning yourself when you sit over it. So that's the idea. You're going to do that until it cools down. If it cools down in less than 15 minutes, then you might heat it up again. But the good thing is if you are using a crock pot, you can kind of manage the heat because you can turn the crock pot on and then turn it off and then turn it back on if you want to warm it up again. So that's why I like to use a crock pot, but that is not necessary. You can use a bowl. All right, guys. So I hope that this is something that you would consider, um, and I hope the information is something that you would be interested in. If you have any questions, please send a message, and I will gladly answer your questions. Okay. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow for day 9.